Hello everybody, welcome back to Satisfactory. Falcon here. I hope you guys enjoyed the steel factory build. So the big plan for this episode is to expand on our coal power, get started on phase 2, get started on motor production, and hopefully finish phase 2. Well, here we are at our starter factory, and as you may notice, I upgraded our regular storage to industrial storage. I also moved our hub, MAM, and workshop to over here with our little container that shows all of the goodies that we have found. I upgraded our concrete production. Right now these are all underclocked because I don't have the power, but this will give us some space so that we can expand our storage over to here and bring stuff in on this side if we want to. I also got rid of our biofuel production, just put what's left in that container right there. I'm leaving this for backup storage, but our big task today is to upgrade our coal power. So that's what we're going to do first thing. So I'm going to grab some materials, I'm going to get in my tractor, and I'll meet you guys over there. All right, here we are. And if you remember, we built this with the future in mind. That way, all we have to do is just take what we have here, duplicate it, run some more water in, and we'll have twice the power. So let's go ahead and take these 18 generators and multiply them by 2. Alright, there we go. We now have 36 generators. I upgraded all of these to Mark II miners. Bumped up all of our Mark I belts to Mark II, and bumped up all of our Mark II belts to Mark III, so on and so forth. And extended it out this way. So now, we just need to get some fluids coming in here. So let's figure out how we're gonna do that. Well, there we go. Since these ones are all going down the middle, I'm gonna run these on the outside, pop them up here, then I'll pipe them down there where we'll have some water extractors on the other side. I actually lost power building this, so I guess that means we're gonna have to use our backup biofuel power. So let's go ahead and finish this up. I'll build out some more water extractors, get everything piped up, turn everything on, and see how she runs. Alright, here's the moment of truth. All the new stuff is in white. All the old stuff is in blue. I rehooked up all the power and everything. So let's see. I have turned on our backup biofuel. So that should get things back up and running. Should take a few minutes, but we should start seeing some water flow here pretty soon. Well, there we go. We've got 36 coal generators working at peak efficiency. 100% efficiency. All of our water extractors are working perfectly. No yellow lights. And we've got 2400 megawatts of power, not including our biofuel power. So now that we have more power to work with, let's go turn off our biofuel power, and I'll meet you guys back at the hub. All right, so we're back here at the space elevator, and we need to get phase 2 going. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up kind of a temporary setup with some storage containers, some constructors and assemblers. And we're going to get started on our first space elevator part, which is smart plating. So smart plating is a 1-to-1 ratio. So basically we just need a couple containers as some assemblers and we should be good. So what I'll do here, probably, I'll set up an assembler here, assembler here, assembler here. I'll just do a merger in the middle. Easy enough. Each one of these will be set to smart plating. Then on this side, I'll get 2 containers. One there. Actually, what we'll do is we'll do basically one on this side. One on that side. We'll manifold rotors down this way, manifold reinforced iron plates down the other way, and that'll get us started on smart plating. So I will show you guys what it looks like when I get it all built. And there we go. As you can see, we've got reinforced iron plates coming in on one side, we've got rotors coming in on the other, so we'll start seeing some smart plating getting made. Alright, so now that we've got our smart plating going on the other side, we're going to go ahead and get our versatile framework going. Which if you look at the recipe here, it's a 1-to-2 ratio for modular frames and a 12-to-2 ratio for steel beams. That means we need 500 modular frames and 6,000 steel beams. So we're going to do the same thing we did on the other side. And we're going to build 3 assemblers by each other here. We're going to build 2 storage containers. And we're going to manifold it out. So if you look here, the recipe calls for basically 90 steel beams per minute. So whichever one we put these steel beams in, which I'm going to say is this one, needs to have at least a Mark II belt. So we're going to put a bunch of steel beams in this one. We're going to put a bunch of modular frames in this one, get it powered up, and get some versatile framework going into the space elevator. Now we just need to get started on our automated wiring, so I'll meet you guys over at the steel factory. Alright, we're inside of our beautiful steel factory here. And on this side, if you remember, we have 4 constructors that are all underclocked to 25%. And we're only making a total of 20 steel pipes per minute. Well, we actually need 30 steel pipes per minute. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bump all of this up to a 50% clock speed, bumping our production up to 40 steel pipes per minute, which is only going to use an extra 30 steel ingots. So that means I'm going to have to bump up our production of steel ingots by 30 along this bottom row, and go make sure I've got enough coal and iron ore to actually do that. So first thing I'm going to do is get the coal and iron ore coming in, and then I'll work on the foundries, and then we'll bump up the clock speed on our constructors here, and we'll be done. Simple as that. Okay, our coal is done. So I have that miner up there doing 240. That miner right there is doing 150. And then this miner is doing 7, which is how much fuel per minute our tractor is using. So let's go set the iron ore, and then we'll start adjusting our clock speeds on our foundries. Alright, so since this miner is only fueling the bottom, it needs to do 150. So we've got that set to 150. The belts are all bumped up to Mark III belts. And now we're gonna go adjust those foundries. So since we need 150, each foundry needs to do 25. So we're gonna set these all to 25. And we'll go adjust our constructors. Here we go. This belt is bumped up to a Mark III. Now we just need to bump up our production on our steel pipes. And there we go. Just like that, our steel production is doubled. I'll just double check all of our belts and make sure that our throughput is good and that it's all working. But if you look at our power, we don't have any crazy dips or spikes. These little dips right here are from the truck stations. But everything looks good, so now we're gonna go get started on our stator production. Okay, so right here in this area is where we're gonna build our stator and motor production. And we're going to start with stator production because that's what our automated wiring needs for phase 2. And basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a section out here, probably this section, a conveyor hole here, and a conveyor hole there. And then that is going to basically go down. It's going to come out here. There's going to be a smart splitter down here, which is going to prioritize our motor production. And what overflows is going to overflow back to the base. So we'll still have 10 pipes per minute going through. Gives us plenty to build with, which we don't need a lot of steel pipes to build with, so I'm not too worried about it. So now we just need to set up that smart splitter. So there's the smart splitter. It prioritizes our motor production and overflows into our base. So let's go ahead and find a place to bring it up and we'll start working on our stator production. So there we go. We've got our steel pipes coming into our assemblers. And the next thing we need, if you look at the recipe, is we need wire. We need a total of 80 wire per minute. Well, it just so happens that we have a copper node right over there that's completely empty and ready for the taking. So let's go ahead and get a little bit of copper wire production so we can get some stators. So there we go. We've got 2 smelters making 20 ingots each. Now all we're going to do is going to take 2 constructors on each side. And each constructor is going to be making 20 wire. On each side. That'll give us our 80 wire per minute. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a pretty simple stator setup here. We've got copper ore coming in, going into 2 smelters, making 20 copper ingots per minute. Each goes into 2 constructors, making 40 wire per minute, into an assembler, making 5 stators per minute. It's the same thing on both sides. And that goes into a container for now. And we're going to take that container, we're going to stock up on some stators, and we're going to finish our motor production. So if you look here, our motors are going to take stators. Well, also, our automated wiring takes stators. We have the cable, so since we're making 10 stators per minute, we're just going to take 4 assemblers over by our space elevator. We're going to set up a container for cable, and we're going to run these stators over to those assemblers, and then phase 2 will be all put into production. So I'll meet you guys over by the space elevator and we'll get that built out. And automated wiring production is done. We've got 10 stators per minute coming in over there. We've got 200 cable per minute coming in over here. And that's going to be giving us our automated wiring. Automated wiring should be done relatively soon. And then we'll just be waiting on that smart plating because we're almost done with versatile framework. So there we go. Our phase 2 production is done. I know it's a little unorthodox. Maybe a little lazy. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Is this acceptable? I think so. Hey, it's how you play the game, right? So, we have on our to-do list, phase 2 done. Now we need to start looking about our motor production. So we'll get our motor production set up now, probably over in this area. And hopefully by the time we get our motor production done, phase 2 will almost be done. So let's start scouting out a place to do our motor production. Alright, so I've decided this is going to be the area where we build our motor production. I upgraded that miner to a Mark II, which freed up this miner. So I ran some iron ore over here since our stator production's right here. I'm going to use that iron ore so we can get some screws and rods so we can get rotors, and then the rotors and stators will be used to make motors. And then once I get the motors done, then I'll set up a storage unit over there for motors and we'll be golden. So let's go ahead and build out some constructors for our rotor production. our rotor production is complete. So we're smelting down some iron ore, and that's going into a row of constructors. The first 5 here are producing 250 screws per minute. The dreaded screw. However, we're using the cast screw recipe, which saves a lot of power. And then once that fills up, then it'll overflow into these 4 constructors, which are in total making 50 rods per minute. And those 50 rods come down here, manifold into 3 assemblers. Then those assemblers are producing rotors. And if you look in the top right corner of your screen, you can see that our automated wiring is done. So that means all we have to do is that. And now we're going to be making motors. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to run underneath, put it into a container over there. So when we complete phase 2, we'll have motors so we can start unlocking stuff in tier 5. Oh, and I overclocked these because they were taking forever. And that's ridiculous. All right, there we go. And our first little batch of motors are coming in. We already have 44. And our smart plating's almost done. So when our smart plating's done, we'll go ahead and send off phase 2 of the space elevator. All right, pioneers, it's time to send off phase 2.
Welcome to the Project Assembly Pioneer Progress presentation. Congratulations, the Phase 2 project part shipment is now ready for delivery. On delivery, Phase 2 will be completed and the construction dock will be constructed. After completion of Phase 2, the technologies of Tiers 5 and 6 will become available in the hub. These might feel intimidating after your previous experience, but rest assured that you would not be here if you were entirely incompetent. Highlights are oil production, railway transportation, the jetpack, and many more. Completing Phase 3 of Project Assembly is your next main objective. Just remember to focus on producing and delivering the project parts, and Ficsit faith in you will be strengthened.
That's nice. Well, that's pretty cool.
Phase 2 of Project Assembly completed. You have been performing more adequately under pressure and are closer than ever to saving the day. Perhaps you were the right choice for the job. Time will tell. You will now enter Phase 3 of Project Assembly. Continue as you are, and there should be no issue. For humanity. For Ficsit.
Well, which one is it? For humanity or for Ficsit? Awesome, let's go check out tiers 5 and 6. There's tier 5. So we can do oil processing, the jetpack, that'll be nice. Logistics Mark 4. Fluid packaging. And fuel power. Awesome. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be it for this episode. In this one, we got coal power expanded, we got motor production done, and we sent off phase 2 of the space elevator. As always, if you guys enjoyed the episode, make sure to leave me a thumbs up and a like. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next one, where we start unlocking Tier 5, and maybe some Tier 6 as well. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.